The beautiful rebel who never belonged. They called him a rebel. They called him the voice of a generation. But if you look closely at the eyes of James Dean, you don't see a rebel. You see an outcast looking for a home he never found. James Dean only made 3 movies. 3! Yet 70 years later his face is still a symbol of the beautiful outsider. But the Hollywood machine didn't want him at first. He was too short, too moody, and too weird. While stars like Rock Hudson were polished and perfect, James Dean was a mess of raw nerves and unspoken pain. He didn't just act, he bled on screen, and in a polished, fake world of 1950s Hollywood. That made him a ghost before he was even a legend. But why was he so disconnected? It started early. When James was only 9, his mother, the only person who truly understood him, died of cancer. His father, unable to cope, sent him away on a train to live with an aunt and uncle on a farm in Indiana. Imagine that, a 9-year-old boy, sitting on a train, alone, being sent to a life where he felt like a stranger. That trauma created the Dean we know. In Hollywood, he was notorious for being difficult. He would show up to sets and not speak to anyone. He would play his recorder in the middle of a street just to drown out the noise of the world. He was a pioneer of method acting before it was cool, because for him it wasn't a method, it was survival. He used his real-life abandonment to play characters like Cal in East of Eden, the son who just wanted his father to love him. When you watch that scene where he tries to give his father money and gets rejected, those aren't movie tears. That's James Dean reliving his childhood. James knew he was an outcast, and he lived like a man who knew his time was short. He had a passion for speed that bordered on a death wish. He bought a Porsche 550 Spider and nicknamed it Little Bastard. Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, once saw the car and told Dean, "If you get into that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week." 1 week later, Guinness' prophecy came true. James Dean died at a lonely intersection in California. He was 24 years old. He never even saw his 2 biggest films, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, hit the theaters. He became an icon of the outcast because he represented everyone who felt like they were screaming and no one was listening. James Dean outlasted the 1950s because he was the first real human being on the silver screen. He taught us that it's okay to be not okay, to be broken, it's okay to be an outcast, and it's okay to feel too much. In my own life, when I look at my path, managing my health and choosing my own tribe, I see a bit of that Dean energy. He refused to be what the studio or the system wanted him to be. James Dean died very young, but his spirit is the patron saint of every outcast who refuses to fit in.